Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Essence. And on my channel, I teach about spiritual things, the occult mysteries, and different things like that. So if that's what you are into, and if that's what you want to learn about, definitely like and subscribe and share my channel. Um, but welcome. um and I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm gonna jump right in. But this video is about knowing when you have been put under a spell, hexed, cursed, worked, whatever you want to call it. Signs that you have pretty much been under, or you're up against a spiritual attack. So lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube as well as TikTok and other social media platforms of people giving tips or signs on ways to know that to know when you are under spiritual attack, or if you're being cursed or hexed. Um, and so, first off, I want to start by saying that the best way to know is to go and get a spiritual reading done, or to consult a spiritual person that is experienced. You know, it's pretty much like going to a doctor if you're not feeling well. If you're having certain symptoms and signs that something is going on, you go and see a doctor, and the doctor diagnoses you. So that's pretty much how it goes with, spiritual work as well. So if you feel that you are under any type of spiritual attack, definitely seek out a spiritual doctor. I am one. Um, but definitely go and consult a spiritual worker, and they'll be able to diagnose you for sure and let you know if that is the case. But true to a lot of people, words, um, there are ways to know. But what I have been seeing is that they give a lot of generic tips to people. So they are saying things like, if you're experiencing depression, or if you're feeling sad, if you're experiencing death in the family, or experiencing death of friends or loved ones, if you are experiencing illnesses or sicknesses, um, if you are coming up against obstacles in your life, and you aren't able to push through those obstacles, or you continue to have one obstacle after the next, then those are signs that you may be under a spiritual attack. And you know in a way, that is true, but that's very surface level, and is very generic, because as a human being, we experience all of those things throughout our lives on a regular basis. So that is not always grounds of knowing that you're being under spiritual attack. So I just wanted to go a little bit deeper um, into helping people understand, or really be able to know that something is going on spiritually. So of course, anything that happens in the spiritual world has to manifest itself in physical form. So if you are being, if you are being hexed or cursed by someone, or someone is, whether it's evil eye, or they're sending negative energy against you, or they're speaking ill will against you or over your life, or if they are really actually getting down and dirty and doing real spiritual work against you, it definitely will manifest for you in a physical way. But the way that you will distinguish whether it is just regular everyday life and experiences of living everyday life, is by, so I want to break it down into categories. So if someone has placed a love spell against on you, a love spell on you, or even a love hex against you, a hex that pertains to love in any type of way, The key way, the biggest way to know that is that, so if, say for instance, someone is wanting to make you fall in love with them, and they cast a spell, a love spell against you, um, you would know that something is being done against you spiritually, because it will be more extreme than how it would be if you were, say you're liking, you liking someone, or you may not even have an interest in a person, but all of a sudden they're on your mind heavily, consistently. You wake up thinking about them, you go to sleep thinking about them. To you, you may feel like it's just normal infatuation. When you first meet someone, you really like that person. They're constantly on your mind. You're envisioning yourself with them every day, doing things with them, and you're envisioning y'all future together, all of that stuff. So, um, but how you know that it lies within a spiritual nature, or that it's being spiritually manipulated, is that it is to the point of almost obsession. So there are some people that will naturally become obsessed with others, but if you know that you are not a person that becomes obsessed with someone, then 9 times out of 10 there's a love spell being worked on you. So if you are constantly thinking about that person, you can't get that person off your mind. If you are feeling like um, their energy is consuming you to the point where you don't want to do anything but spend time with them on a regular basis, if you feel like, you have no control, or you are, so love struck that all of your senses have left, and you're not able to process things in the right way. So pretty much blinded by love to the point that there could be some serious things going on around you that may be alarming to other people, but you miss it. And again, the key word is obsessive. So if it's at a level of obsession, and you lose all control of your own, um, you're not able to control anything as it pertains to that person. So an example is, um, you usually like to go out on the town and spend a lot of time with your friends. And even in relationships, you've always managed to have time for your friends. And there's nothing toxic going on right now. Say it's the beginning of the relationship. There's nothing toxic going on. And you're not being isolated from anyone, but all of a sudden you don't have a desire anymore to be around anyone. That you want to spend every waking moment with that person. And that person can be doing other things, like, spending time with their family, or, on vacations, and they are giving you very, very little amount of time and energy, but yet you don't get angry about that. You sit and you wait until you do get their attention. You thirst for their attention. You crave it. It's and again, it's not anything narcissistic because it's fresh, it's a new relationship. But you are over the top in obsession for this person. 9 times out of 10, that person may have worked a love spell on you. So that's one way. Okay, so let's talk about if someone has evil or ill will against you. So there's levels to it. So there is what we call a psychic attack, where people can think about negative things as it pertains to you. They can look at your picture and just focus on how much they dislike you, how much they wish that things would fall apart in your life. They could even speak ill things out their mouth about you consistently. Just, speaking destruction, chaos, and all kind of stuff in your life. Um, that is what is called a psychic attack. And so the way that you would know that that is happening to you is that you all of a sudden, things are going good, you're happy, life is going well, and then the next thing you know, well, let me make it a little bit more because I don't want to make it too broad. I want to kind of nail it down to specific things so that it's easier to determine whether someone is doing this to you or not. So, say for instance, you buy a new car and you're excited about the car and you want to go show it off to family and friends, because you're happy, you want them to see what you have accomplished. You got you a beautiful car. And so you go, you visiting your friends and family members, and all of a sudden, a few days later, something happens with the car and it breaks down. Or you get in an accident and you wreck the car and total it. That doesn't usually happen under normal natural circumstances. So it's not really natural for you to go and purchase a new car and then 3 or 4 days, maybe a week later, it's broken down or you've wrecked it. So that's when you have to kind of step back and try to figure out, okay, well, who amongst the people that I invited into my happiness of getting this car didn't seem happy about me having it. So, you have to be very careful because people may smile at you and, pretend to be happy for you, but then behind closed doors, they are secretly jealous of your accomplishments. And so they say things or think things that will send a that will send a negative energy your way. And it's not because in some cases it can be done unintentionally and a person doesn't really know that they're sending you. That's what they call the evil eye. They don't really realize that that's what they're doing. So say for instance, you may have a friend that may had just lost her vehicle, whether it was wrecked or repossessed or whatever the case may be. She lost it, and then you finally get a new one. Out of the emotional feelings that she's going through from losing her car, she looks at your car and feels like, I wish that I had my car. Or why did I have to lose my car and she gets a new car? It's not that she's intentionally trying to throw something evil, or throw any type of a negative energy or ill will towards you. It's just her own emotional things that she's going through. And so then all of a sudden something happens with your car. So that can happen. Or you can have someone that just downright doesn't like you and they are, just genuinely jealous of you. And so they will think things intentionally or say things intentionally to bring some type of misfortune to you as it pertains to whatever it is that they're jealous about. So it can happen in two ways. But the main thing to remember is that if it feels very unusual, that, it feels like a severe stroke of bad luck, whereas before it was good, things were going well for you. 9 times out of 10 is someone either giving you evil eye or sending a what we call a psychic attack to you spiritually. Now, there's, like I said, there's levels to it. So, you know, there are ways to protect yourself from the evil eye. You can always do protection work. You can always wear protection charms. You want to always make sure that your energy is high and you're vibrating at a high frequency, so that if someone is thinking negative things about you or speaking negative things about you, it's not able to get in and affect your your spiritual body or your spiritual space. So the next thing would be if somebody is really getting down and dirty and doing work against you, like really using their hands to do work against you. The way that you would know that is if they are hexing you or doing some type of curse on you, the, the way you would know it is if things start to happen consecutively, if things start to happen that just doesn't match up with your lifestyle or circumstances. So, like I said earlier, everyone gets sick. It's a part of being human. Sometimes our bodies break down, even if it's just a small sickness or cold or the flu or, something of that nature. We all have experienced some type of sickness at some point in our life. The healthiest person may get sick maybe once a year. But if you become sick with something that is extremely rare and nobody knows how to treat it or what it is, or there's very, very, very little information on the sickness, if you if you start to experience feelings in your body as though you don't have any control over yourself, as far as you know um, the things that that are happening to you within your body, then yeah, that could definitely be a sign that someone has put a curse on you. Because the number one thing that root workers or spiritual people will do is attack your health. you know so that's like the number one thing. So if all of a sudden you're a normally healthy person, you barely ever get sick. If you do get sick, you don't stay sick long. And then all of a sudden you have this disease that is pretty much taking you away or killing you slowly. There is no cure for it. There's no treatment for it. There's not a lot of information about it. Then that could be definitely a someone cursed you or did some type of work to attack your health. Um, and the worse of the sickness or the illness is, the more powerful the hate was that that person had for you when they were working that spell against you. That usually doesn't happen unless you have done something that was so vile and so hurtful or evil to someone. You do have some people that are evil that do work against people, because that's just how they are. But majority of the time, most spiritual people don't just go and attack someone for no reason. So if you have had any situations with anyone that you know that you wronged that person and you never went back to apologize, or you never tried to go and rectify the situation, and then all of a sudden you start having issues with your health, or you start experiencing loss as far as everything or anything in your life. It could be death, it could be losing a home, it could be losing a job, it could be losing money, it could be losing things that are important to you and that are necessary for your survival. Then yeah, you might want to consult with a spiritual worker to see if someone is attacking you or doing any type of spiritual work against you. Um, and of course, I really don't like to add depression into it because if you are going through any type of uh, experiences of witchcraft or hexing or roots being put on you or curses being placed on you, you're going to automatically become depressed. So I don't like to add depression in there. It's not like someone, yes, yeah, it's not like somebody, my children always pick the like the most craziest times to, but anyway, it's not like someone is sitting there working a spell against you and saying, I just want them to be severely depressed. That's not on the top of the list of anybody that's working magic against you. I mean, depression comes along with it. It's like they're all tied in. So if you are losing loved ones, or you're having financial losses, or you know, you're losing your stability and things like that, you're going to naturally be depressed. So those are some of the signs. So I just wanted to, you know, come on here and give y'all that. If y'all like this, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys again in my next video.